Boom, boom, Mrs. Kid, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. All right, we get a little bit of Azur laying on tap today. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the event is progressing. And we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the ships because we do have some information now on the ships where we can get the weapons, you know, what's good in terms of their skill sets. So let's go ahead and take a look. Let me show you what I've gotten so far. So as you know, the event's been open for about, I guess, 5 days now. So let's go ahead and take the event tab here. I basically, cleared A and 2 into B. I've been trying to at least get 1 a day, and then this afternoon I'll go back and hit all 3 of them. So I run all the ones that I've completed on a daily basis, and move it through. So should finish it in plenty of time. Shouldn't be that much of a problem. I'm already at 7960 on the cube, so I should have the 8000 I need to get for Talon this afternoon when I do the end. So the event is moving on pretty good. Nothing really to talk about in that regards. Just been answering questions. Very easy. Haven't had any trouble with any of the questions. So nothing big. Again, as I said, if it's straight history or game, you can most likely Google the answer. But even if you do miss it, there's plenty. You don't have to wait very long, like maybe 5 minutes or so before you have a chance to answer the question again. All right, so let's go ahead and minimize this screen here and go ahead and talk about the ships. All right, so I'm at the Azur Lane wiki, so let's go ahead and take a look at these ships and take a look at the skill sets that they've got. So let's go ahead and do some of this guy Bellareese first, since she is, I guess, what you'd have to consider the pinnacle of this event. All right, so the first skill is Curtain of Rhyme. It said when this ship fires its main guns, a 45%. Let's go ahead and use the 30 or the 10. When it said 10, so it's 75% chance to fire a special barrage. If this barrage fails to trigger, increases the ship's anti-air about 50% until the next time this ship fires its main guns. Okay, so that's a pretty good setup. Anti-air is always useful, but we do like the chance for the special barrage increased. And then the second one is Ingenious Tactician. As long as this ship's hit point is above 60%, increases the ship's firepower about 20% and decreases the duration of burns on self by 3 seconds. Burn can do some damage, especially in PvP, and it's also quite damaging inside of actual story mode as well. I mean, they do have the fire extinguishers that you can take, which will help reduce your burn damage. But other than that, that's about pretty much the only item, other than a skill that you can do that. So it's nice that she has that. That'll help definitely make her health survive a little bit. And then twice per battle, when the ship hit points fall below 50%, heals self for 12% of its maximum hit bet over the next 8 seconds. And then during the second battle and onward of each story, it decreases all damage your vanguard receives by 8%. And Operation Siren, this counter will reset when moving between sectors. Okay, so that's a pretty good skill. This is a survivability, help with some survivability of the vanguard. So a nice skill. So it's definitely something that definitely makes something of a team. Let's take a look at let's go ahead and take a look at Talon. I love Talon. This is just an awesome, totally awesome graphic of her. Looks really cool. So we've got a full skill set on her. We've got every set we got offense, defense, and support. So that's good. Every 18 seconds, create a shield in front of this ship. Okay, so there we go. That's good. Anytime you have a shield, that can block up to 8 bullets. Lasts for 8 seconds. If the shield breaks, it fires a special barrage and gains 5% hit point shield on self for 4 seconds. Okay. Survivability, that's what we're looking for. And then when equipped with Northern Parliament or Armed Blood main guns, self-damage dealt increased by 12%. When equipped with AP guns, shell speed increased by 10%. Upon killing 2 enemies with this ship in battle, increased self firepower and anti-air by 8%, lasting until the end of the battle and its maximum stack. And then all-out assault. Okay, every 6 times the main guns are fired. That's pretty good. That is pretty good, actually. I like that. Good skill set. So let's go ahead and take a look at Kurov here. She's got a pretty good graphic too. Got that bear in the background there. It's pretty cool looking. So Every 15 seconds in battle, 100% chance to fire a special barrage. This first time this barrage triggers, it ignites enemies hit, causing them to take 15% more damage for 8 seconds. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Huh? Increases the effective and shell range of this ship's main gun to 75 and increases the damage the ship deals to light artillery enemies by 20%. During battle, if there are northern Paliament ships in the same fleet as this ship, increases the shelling damage that enemy light cruisers take from northern Paliament ships by 4.5%, actually 12%. Oh, that's not bad actually. This is a pretty good skill. All three of these ships have a pretty good skill set for them. These are definitely, they've definitely made this to where you might be able to definitely talk about a fleet. You know, the actual flagship of the Northern Paliament is Sovietskaya Soyuz, so you definitely want her. But with these, let's go ahead and take a look at these three. Grimyatsky, and that's a pretty nice look too. For the first 30 seconds of a battle, soft speed +5, 5% +30%. After 30 seconds, self evasion stat +15%. Okay, now she's a destroyer, all right. So there's not a whole lot that you can expect in terms of lasting because the mate is just not for destroyers. But this is not a bad setup. Okay, self speed, an increase of firepower, and self evasion. So that's pretty good. And then every 20 seconds, 25% to fire torp, barrage, and evade all attacks for 3 seconds. Okay, this is not bad. Okay, and then activates auto assault every 10 times the main guns are fired. This is not bad actually for a destroyer. So let's take a look at Romkey. At the start of battle, if there are other ships in the vanguard, self crit rate +20%. When another vanguard ships fall under 20%. Hit points, consume 5% self hit points to heal that ship for 10% of their hit point, 5 seconds heal self for 8, limited to 1 trigger per battle. And they take 10% less shell and torp damage from destroyers every 20 seconds, self speed +5, firepower +20 for 10 seconds, and it activates on. So what we're seeing here is these two are destroyers, but they actually have a little bit of healing capability. But again, they're light armor. I'm pretty sure they're light armor. Let's confirm that they are, in fact, yeah, they are light armor. So, but they're destroyers. So, it's really difficult to see if anything will be able to come from them. So it's going to take Murmansk. It's going to create Murmansk is a light cruiser. So, if you had in that previous one where the light cruisers in there, she would benefit from that. For first 45 seconds of a battle, self firepower torp +12% when equipped with HE main guns deals 10% more damage to battleship and battlecruiser enemies. And then laid back defending take 15% damage from AP shells. Every 20 seconds, 60% to fire a special barrage. And then Omaha class once every 8 times the main guns are fired. This is interesting here. All of these ships, especially these ships, the front line looks like they're going to actually be. They've actually got some survivability built into them, so that you might be able to do something with these. Now remember, Aurora, it would be able to be teamed up with these ships as well. So that's pretty interesting in terms of what they have. That's pretty good skill set on several of them. We of course have to see how they actually play out in terms of that. So I've already got within my pools. I've already got, like I said, I've got Sovietskaya, I got Bellareese, I got Grimyatsky, and I've got Murmansk. Streamatelity was actually from a reward from the log on. If you logged on for a certain amount of days, you got Streamatelity, so I do have her as well. So those are the new ships that I've got during the event so far. That's just those three. So I'm still working on the others. Of course, I'll be able to get Talon here shortly because I will have the 8,000 Arcana Cube that I will need to actually make the purchase from in the store. If I don't build her, of course, I'll continue the build. So that's a pretty good setup, actually. The story is extremely interesting so far. Focused on exploring the Arcane Sanctum. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but they've made some progress. It's interesting. We're getting to see a little bit. We're going to get a little see bit about the backstory of the Sirens. I think that by the time this event's over, we're going to know a little bit more about them. If you're familiar with any type, if you watch the anime, or if you've been playing Azur for any time, we really don't know the origins of the Sirens. What came about. There's also a little bit of discrepancy also as to how the ship girls came about, which are fighting them. We all know it's associated with the cubes, but so we're going to maybe get a little bit more, a little bit of idea of everything and how everything started. So this is a really, really good event as they're exploring the Arcana Sanctum, and we're beginning to form some ideas about what's actually going on. So this is really, really good. Really excellent story. I think when this is done, we'll know a little bit more, which is good. It's just a lot of questions surround the origins of both the ship girls and the actual Sirens themselves, what they are, what they're here for. What's their, what do they want? What's their end game? I think all those answers, or at least a lot of those answers, are going to be able to be found inside of the Arcana Sanctum, and that's what these events are exploring. This is, they got into the Sanctum. The commander was the only one who could get them to get the wall on the other side of that wall, and they found the City of Light in there. So this is, and now they're exploring. So, yeah, so you're going to get to find out a lot of stuff from in this. So I think it's a very good story. And they're doing an excellent way of telling it, and they're throwing around a lot of ideas. So I think we'll get to find out a little bit more about the origin. I guess you could call this the origin story for the Sirens, and a little bit more information on the ship girls and what actually makes them tick. So it's a really good story. So those ships are up now. This is a pretty good event, and these ships are really important if you want to have a fleet. So you're going to have to think about trying to get all of the ships. We've got 3 SR ships in here, and Kurov Town, Sovietsky, and then we've got Grimyatsky and Murmansk. Okay, so I really need to get Kurov. Talon you can get from the store, and I built her. She was actually the first one I got, surprisingly. So I was really surprised when I drew her first. I think it was on the second day that I got her, and then the very next day I got Yaski. So yeah, it's definitely going to be something that's up. So remember that you'll be able to get Gromkey within here. So make sure that you do this enough to get Gromkey as well. So I think we've got the makings of what we can do for a fleet, and don't forget that of course we do have Aurora, who is a Vanguard ship, by the way. A lot of people think Aurora's backline. She's not. She's front. In terms that she can be added just because she is Northern Parliament as well. So any of the ships that you have that have Northern Parliament buffs, or they get buffs from having Northern Parliament ships within them, Aurora is eligible for that buff as well. She can help supply that buff if you do use her. So yeah, we've got the makings of what could be probably a pretty decent fleet. We need that we need the flagship though, and we need Sovietskaya Soyuz. She is the flagship. So now, don't hold me to this, but it would not surprise me if they do have Sovietskaya Soyuz. I know some people have been bouncing this around, but she might be a UR ship. They might have a build just like they did for Shinano for Sovietskaya Soyuz. She might be a UR-based ship from the very beginning, and that would be really cool if they did that. And one of the reasons they think, and I agree with this assumption, is the fact that they have no ships. They don't really have any, PR ships, priority ships with a Northern Parliament base to them. So having an UR ship, because priority ships are pretty much considered UR ships for the most part, just like SR ships once they become retrofitted, such as Sandy right here. Um, this fleet, by the way, is just what I've been running the actual levels with. I've been using the Sakura, Sakura Empire fleet, and then this hodgepodge here, which has got Hornet, Saratoga, Enterprise, and I've got Aurora, Sheffield, and Sandy right in here. But I do have the 4 ships, boop, 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 that you need to have that we worked in the previous. So as you can see, I've got all of them up above. They're in the mid 80s, and I'm just continuing to level them up. And I'm running the levels with them. They are all fully limit broke, so anytime I run a level right now with them, I will be able to get points for that. I'm also saving up my mats because I really do like the ships in this, and I think the northern Paliament is definitely going to be a fleet that you're going to be able to make. We need that. We need that. We need that flagship to give us that huge buff that we get from your Nagatos, of your Bismarcks, and such like that. So once we get her, I think that will make things a lot better. So we'll just have to wait and see when she comes out, and I think she's probably going to be a UR ship event for her. Would not surprise me in the slightest. And you get at the beginning of the sense when it starts out, it immediately says that Sovetskaya Soyuz is not there, and they get that because she has been called to Moscow. She is the battle. She is the mothership. She is the flagship of the fleet. So it would not surprise me if they do come out. It would be really nice that if they came out with her in a UR ship form and had a special event just for her, like they did for Shinano. But it really wasn't an event just focused for Shinano, but Shinano was the one of the the main draw for that event. And I would say start stockpiling the cubes because I think we're going to see that. Because that would be a good thing to get the fleet started, and we do need that to piece together. As you can see, some of those ships have, especially the destroyers, have capabilities that run off of having Northern Parliaments, other Northern Parliament ships in your fleet. Unfortunately, a flagship is important because it gives an entire fleet a buff. Nagato makes the Sakura Empire ships immensely stronger, and it's the same thing with Bismarck with the buff she applies to Ironblood ships, making them much more powerful because of just an all-around buff that she gives any fleets, any ships from the same fleet. So it's really good setup. So I think that we might actually see a Sovetskaya Soyuz ship that is actually a UR based ship, and there'll be a build for her just like that there was for Shinano, and it would not surprise me if that does turn out to happen. All right, so this event, it's still going on, of course. Event's going to be going on until the 11th, so it's only the 1st right now, March 1st. So you've still got 10 days to knock this out, and you'll be able to get talent in the shop, and you'll be able to get Grom Cube from right here, and then the rest are builds. So just get in there and throw some cubes at it. I do 5 a day is all I do, and as I get towards the end of the event, I might increase that if I'm missing any of the ships. But I always want to keep enough ships and a buffet that I can do an actual, do actual draws if they do have a UR ship event, because I almost got burnt and was unable to get Shinano because of the fact that I didn't have enough cubes at the time. So I'm making sure that I don't run that low again. I'm always keeping a buffer on hand, so that in case an event does come up that has a UR ship pool in it, I'll be able to get it. And they did say that there would be more of them. That they're going to start coming out with some UR based ships that are open without having to do retrofits like Shinano or become a priority ship. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So I've already completed the actual PR catch up, I believe. I don't think I got one more. Yeah, you only get 30. Once you hit 30, it stops. You can't get any more. So I'm really close on St. Louis, and I'm really close on Georgia as well too. So hopefully I'll have one of those ships. And when I do finally complete the actual build and get them fully maxed out, we'll go ahead and take a look at them. And then, of course, after that, I'll just start to focus on the actual, obtaining the luck. All of the priority ships, that's, well, one of the biggest drawbacks to the priority ships is the fact that they do not have luck. But once you do the actual fate simulation here, you do get some luck for them, so they are not completely without it. So it's not a whole lot, but since they got 0, it's always nice to have a little bit more in the pack. So yeah, I'm working on them right now, but St. Louis is pretty close to being done, as is Georgia. And when they're done, FTGs, of course, is still at work. I'm focusing on her too, but it's going to take a while for her to be ready. That's what sticks. But I will be able to finish up St. Louis and Georgia pretty soon. Georgia's pretty good too. She's a nuker as well, so she'll help out. She'll help out the Union fleet immensely. All right, so yeah, so that's it. I just want to go ahead and go over the ships and let you know that the ships are pretty good. All of them have excellent skill sets. Nothing to look at in form of super stats, but the frontline Vanguard ships are healable, which is good. That makes them survive longer. And there are ships that offer a shield. You've got a shield, so that makes survivability, of course, as good. And then you've got a ship that heals the Vanguard, so that's good as well too. So there's definitely some makings within synergy within that you could form to make a fleet. We'll have to see how this actually plays out by actually getting the ship, fully enhancing it, putting it in there, and seeing how it actually works, because we understand that things on paper don't always translate into actual gameplay. So we have to you have to take what's said right now, but the skill sets give you an idea of whether or not it's something you might want to consider putting the mats toward to fully limit break and get them ready for fleet use. And I think that's promising in that regards for what we see from the skill set. All right, so thanks a lot for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Once you've subscribed, you'll see a bell if you're going to make it notified each time I do launch a video. All right, so remember to like and share the video, because that does help the channel immensely as well. All right, so this is Ken Rear coming at you from the corner, signing out.